So there is a division, right? And there's two, me over here and the rest of existence over here. I always turn left, and by me turning left, I sort of enter a vortex looking thing this way, while 8 billion other human beings go this way and compete, and at the end they look like a tree, while I look like a vortex going like this, something like that. Is that if you draw a picture of the decisions that everybody else makes versus the decisions that I make, just the decisions, I always choose the moral or honest or honorable decision. And I have entered the vortex of honorable and honest and moral decisions. And that's because it looks like a vortex. The physical manifestation is looks like a vortex because I always turn left, whereas everybody else turns right and competes with 8 billion other people. I always turn left, and I'm not competing with anybody. I have entered the vortex of the path of least resistance because it's just me without any resistance. So I turn left, and I turn left at every moment. At every moment, I choose morality while everybody else chooses immorality, and so we separate. At the moment that I choose morality and everybody else chooses immorality, we are separate. And me over here, okay, morality, 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 morality. Eventually, I turn left, left, left. If you turn left 10 times, you enter a circle like this: left, 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 and left. And after 1 hour of turning left, it looks like a vortex. Versus everybody else turns right, right, turns right, and they're over here. And so 8 billion other people on this earth, they're competing. They're competing with a little bit. No, they're competing for, like, say by my say, I started with everybody else, and there is 100% of resources. Now there's 50%. I enter the vortex of eating up 50% of all total resources by myself, and I'm over here eating 50% up. 8 billion people, uh, 8 billion other people on this earth are competing for the other 50%, and so they don't. Each person eats up maybe 1%. I mean that's not what it is. It's I know that this is not exactly, but it's fractions of a percent. So I'm learning exponentially every day, and I'm eating exponentially every day. And because I have turned left always, I have made the moral decision always. I have entered the vortex um, of morality, of turning left, of eating up 50% of the total resources that were available when I started my enlightenment journey, or something like that. While everybody else goes right together, only I go left, and I enter the vortex this way. Everybody else, uh, if it's me here and everybody else here, so just me here and 8 billion other people here, I go this way and I enter the vortex, eating up 50% of all resources. Everybody else is competing for the other 50%, right? So we separate, and I'm out of the question for this other 50%. And I don't care because I'm over here eating up the other 50%. I don't care about the 50% that 8 billion other people are competing for, something like that. So we separate, and I do my thing over here, and and it's like this, and I'm out of the question, and everybody else turns right. Everybody else attacks each other, competes. Everybody else uh, is immoral. Thank you, Tao Te Ching. Everybody else is immoral, while I am moral. All right. So everybody else turns right, and sort of like after the first division, I'm out of the question, and I'm like over here, and everybody else goes this way, and so you start a new division. Everybody else who went this way is now like this, and now 8 billion people separate, and it's sort of looks like this. That is the pattern of all of nature. There are vortexes like rivers, like whirlpools in a river or something like that, and then there's like trees that branch out like this. And my life is a vortex, while everybody else's life, because they're competing for resources, uh, and it's 8 billion people competing for resources. Everybody only gets a fraction of of the resources, and they stop learning, they stop growing, and they look like a tree, like 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 this. Like, look, it's right here. Fuck it, man. Okay, okay. So I just took some leaves off of my roof. Anyways, so so look, I go over here, and I enter the vortex, and my life looks like a vortex over here, right? This is right here. This is a visual representation of this idea. So I'm over here, and everybody else is right here. I'm over here, and everybody else is right here. And so this would represent everybody else. And if you notice, like trees, just trees, and I don't want to think about and concentrate right now on what else does this, but it is a lot of things out in nature that trees branch out like this. Look, look, look. It is sort of branching out, right? Right? Like this. And and these people stop learning right here. This the tip of this is where they stop learning, because there are 8 billion people competing for 50% of all resources, while I don't while in the beginning I make the moral decisions, and I eat up 50% of all resources from the beginning, because we separate, and I enter the vortex over here, and a vortex looks like this. They like this, like that, right? And that's what this is. Um, so my life is a ratio of the five senses. I'm not Jesus, but the body is a ratio of the five senses. And the story arc of my life, based on just my moral decisions, I am carrying out the mission of consciousness through one human being life, my life, using one human being body, my body. And because I have always made moral decisions, I enter the vortex by myself over here, while everybody else goes over here and they become a tree. Their story arc, life, becomes a tree with very limited learning and growth. Thank you.